The Pan-South African Language Board is calling for the review or the scrapping of a decision to make candidate lawyers' exams English only from the first sitting this year. The Legal Practice Council has resolved that according to its language policy, English is the language of record in court proceedings, the predominant language used in business, international politics, commerce and industry, thus the decision. Is this what is best for the country's legal profession? And what does it mean for other South African languages and the promotion of inclusivity? To get to the bottom of the opposition to this and the actions planned to counter it, we're joined by Lance Schultz, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Pan-South African Language Board, to join us. He joins us via Zoom. Lance, good evening to you and welcome. Why does your organization regard this as a gross human rights violation?
Firstly, a very good evening to you and the viewers, and thank you very much for having me. We believe that the institution's language policy, which they've just recently adopted, also is fraught with serious contradictions, not only in respect of its objects, but also what the Constitution and other aspects within the legislative framework provides for. We feel that there are two major areas of contention. The one is that the Constitution provides recognition for there had been diminished use of a lot of our languages, and specifically our indigenous languages. And secondly, it asks on institutions, and particularly those that are operating in the national space, to take practical and positive measures to elevate the status and advance the use of all of our 12 languages, and more specifically our indigenous languages. So we believe that this is an area of serious contention that we need to seek remedy in.
Just for a lot of people who are outside of the debate, let's try and understand as many dimensions of this as we can, Lance. So on the one hand, you have what are the constitutional requirements and encouragements to make sure that there's a wider range and wider net of inclusivity and diversity. Are law students in this country studying law in their home languages? And if not, would writing exams in their home language disadvantage them because of the technical nature of the legal texts?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, that's the case in point, where we're saying that it becomes prejudicial, where we become exclusionary to an extent where we promote only one, and as the policy had previously been written, providing for English and Afrikaans, to the detriment of inclusivity and ensuring that aspects of social cohesion is actually achieved by increasing the number of languages that it provides for other students to participate and ensure that we can get the best possible outcome. So we believe it is certainly limiting, and it certainly prevents a lot of students from actually excelling in those particular examinations that takes place. And what we are seriously asking is for redress and ensuring that we work on a future model where we do allow for inclusivity as far as is possible based on the constraints and the prevailing conditions.
When you talk about the prejudice, what you said just now amplifies the point that it prevents students from excelling. Just talk to us a little bit more about this, and more importantly, how it connects to the services they could potentially provide in public, or even, the eligibility to practice their profession.
Yes, so this talks to a broader problem within the judiciary, where the judiciary has accepted English as the language of record, and as a result, we believe that had been a direct correlation into this decision being made. What it has done is, I think it has it's increased the marginalization of more students that could join the law profession.
Yes, it's
also
fine.
A number of...
Cheers.
You can go ahead, Lance. Sorry about that. And now we've lost your audio. I don't know if you went on mute. Lance, just check.
I've just checked.
All right, so we've got you back now. And we lost you where you were saying it increases the marginalization of people into the profession.
Yes. So what we would like to do is to have an equal playing field that allows for as wide a representation of our communities that are speaking these various languages to be able to participate and have an examination that affords them an opportunity as equally as somebody that would write it in English or as in Afrikaans as had been previously included. We understand that there would be constraints, there would be resource constraints, but we're asking that at least the principles of the Use of Languages Act which provides for a minimum of 3 languages within our national space be included, and on a provincial basis, at least try to include some of the provincial languages that is prevalent in our respective provinces as well, so that we can increase the success rate that we have of the students participating.
So as you've just touched on, the LPC says, and we're going to speak to them in just a moment, Bongiwe will conduct that interview, says that English is its language of record for internal and external communication, which includes so many stakeholders, among them the legal profession and members of the public. You talked a little bit about how progress is set back. Share with us a bit more about just how much damage this does.
All right, in respect of the damage, I think that given that it is intended for this policy to be effected for this year, it might be too early to tell. There has been a lot of discourse and there has been complaints that we have received from various organizations stating that they feel that this is hugely prejudicial and this is a setback, in fact, for our constitution in fostering multilingualism. So it's early days, but certainly our memorandum to the LPC have indicated that we would like to work with them to try and see what can be done for them to revisit this decision that has been made.
And ultimately, you want them to withdraw that notice with immediate effect. So let's hear then in a moment from the LPC. But Lance Schultz, the CEO of PanSALP, thank you very much for talking to us tonight and adding some clarity to this complex matter.